or in the procrastination, we don't want to do it. And, when we're sad or depressed or whatever, the procrastination becomes a big deal, and that can be overwhelming. And that's something that I really think we got to think about as well, is that, that's something that can be overwhelming and stressful and something that's, not the easiest thing to do and not the easiest thing to handle. And so being able to process what we can and can't handle, be able to process what we can and can't deal with, being able to process those things and understand those things to really get to the crux of what really is causing us stress and anxiety in our life and how to get through that. So I want you to analyze that. What is on your mind? What is plaguing your mind right now? What are the things that are really plaguing your mind? What are the things that are really, really causing you stress? And really write that down. What is it? What's the stress coming from it? Why is it causing you stress? And what are the things that you can do about it? What actions can you take to minimize some of the stress? What actions can you begin to take to lower the stress level? What actions can you take to make things better? And, other people involved in the situation, talking to them, connecting with them, having a conversation with them, explaining to them, seeing where they're going to be, getting their input, having that conversation. All these are important factors. All these are extremely important factors that have to be focused on. And these are the things that we need to take care of. And if we can get to that point, we can begin to really analyze our situation. If we can get to that point, we can begin to slow down. Because the whole point of this podcast, the whole point of this concept, this whole point of me telling you about how Kale almost killed me, is to slow you down so that you don't do something like that. That creates more problem in your life, that creates more havoc in your life, that creates more anger, resentment, sadness, depression, loneliness, overwhelming, anxiety-ridden. So that's the crux of it, is really eliminating as much as we can of the fear, seeing the problem or whatever you're dealing with in a full focus, analyzing what you can do to solve it, having the communication as much as you can to solve it. But in that process, I'm not here solving the marital issues. I'm not here solving the work issues in this exact podcast. Now, we solve other stuff in other podcasts. But right now, this is the process of eliminating the fact that you could get hurt and your life could become even more stressful if you don't slow things down. That's the point. Your life could be more stressful. Things could go wrong even worse if you don't slow things down. And, when we think about that, we begin to gain more control because we say, okay, yeah, I'm going to take it slower. I'm not going to race to this meeting. If I'm running late, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to take care of what I need to take care of. I'm going to go on an email and let them know that I'm running late. I'm going to do what I need to do, and I'm going to refocus. And that's something that really needs to be done. That's something that needs to be done so that you don't put yourself in a painful position having more problems. And if you're already there, so if something's already happened and you've had one of these freak accidents that I've been talking about, you're still alive, okay? That's a good thing. And you're probably in a depressed state right now. And you're probably angry about the situations and circumstances that took place. And I get that too. But there's a way out. And so that's what we have to look at and analyze. What is the way out? And then what have we learned from this experience? What have we learned from this experience? What can we take from this experience that we can garnish something from so that it's not a waste? What is it that we can gain and garnish from it? What is it that we can take and learn from this situation so that it is not a complete waste, so we don't feel completely resentful? And that's what I want you to work on right now. Because if you're in the state of mind and you've done it and you're laying in bed and you got all these things going on and you're thinking about how life is passing you by and you couldn't believe this freak accident happened and you got a cast on or whatever's going on, I want you to start thinking, what was it that got in the way of me focusing? What was that? How did it happen? And how do I stop that from happening again? Stay tuned. I got more coming up. Live Your True Life Perspectives with your host, me, Ashley Burgess, will be back in. I'll be back this time in 2 shakes.
Get in here. You're listening to Perspectives with Ashley Burgess.
Welcome back live to Live Your True Life Perspectives, and I'm your host, Ashley Burgess. On today's show, I'm talking about how that moment in time when Kale almost killed me, how it put my life in perspective. Many of us have had these fluke accidents where things have happened, and thank God we live to tell the tale. But what happens? Think about it. We live to tell the tale, but usually it's a long, laborious recovery period that we just did not need to deal with. And why are we there in the first place? Because we weren't thinking, because we were racing through life, because we didn't think about what we needed to do, because we weren't putting into focus what was important in that moment. We were living in our mind and thinking about what we needed to deal with, the stresses, the anxiety, and the things that we were going through, instead of honestly thinking about what we needed to work on and really slowing things down. And I know that that can be challenging, and many of you might be in this position saying, hey, I had that fluke accident. I'm laying in bed. I have this cast on me. I'm going through this process, and it's horrible, and it's painful, and I'm very resentful, and I'm very angry right now. And if you're in that position, we've all been in that position. I've done many things throughout my life, and it was based on the fact that I had all these things on me, all these fears and responsibilities, stresses, and all that stuff, and I was unable to calm and slow down in the moment, and it caused that. So slow it down. The biggest thing is to take that away from it. If you can take it away from it and not repeat this, you have won. You have won. You just have to not repeat this action. If you can do that and take it away from here, you will have won. You will have actually won. You will have been a winner. You are a winner if you can do that. And that's what's so powerful. And I think many of you, everybody that listens to my show is a winner. Everybody that listens to my show, you're highly intelligent. You're super focused. You know what's going on. You're doing your best. You got a lot of things on your plate. You know who you are. I don't have to explain this to you. But the best thing about this is if you're going through it or you have gone through it, slow it down. Slow it down. It's just as simple as that. And I know that's hard, but I want you, when you start racing through things and you're driving like a bat out of hell, all these things are going on. I need you to slow it down. Just, why am I driving like a bat out of hell? Why am I running down the sidewalk from my office? Why am I doing this in the rain? Why exactly am I doing this in the rain? Okay? Think about these things, being appropriate with our time and space, being appropriate with the things that we need to be appropriate with. Slow it down. Don't let Kale kill you. Slow it down. And I'm going to talk about more fluke accidents throughout this year and next year and everything else because I've had some crazy things happen. But in each moment in those, I wasn't seeing my surroundings properly or I was racing through something. And so I hope this has helped you. In the meantime, go to YouTube. Check out the video content that I put up all the time. I put it up weekly. Go to Ashley Burgess, AShleyBurgess. Ashley Burgess. Go to YouTube. You can also search up Life Coach Ashley Burgess. That's helpful too. Life Coach Ashley Burgess. Or just Ashley Burgess. New video content up every week on lots of things. On relationships, understanding how to deal with anxiety, stress, dealing with relationship issues, dealing with marital issues, all these types of things. Being an empath, understanding how to be, what it means to be an empath, all these things that can really be helpful to you. And I'm always looking forward to hearing more ideas from you and content that you would like me to create as well. So please be vocal, put it out there, let me know. I love it when people really tell me what's up because you're individuals who know what you need, and that's what's important. Also, check out the latest TikTok videos on TikTok and go to Facebook as well and Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at Ashley Burgess right there. And we'd love to hear from you. Comments, wonderful comments are always amazing to read, and I definitely respond back to as many as possible. And I'd love to hear your perspective and what matters most. So remember, we want to slow it down. We want to participate. We want to focus. We want to focus our energy. We want to participate and focus our energy and see things clearly. We want to be there. We want to understand that. And we want to be in that moment. We want to be in that moment. We want to be in that moment. And that's where we want to be at. And that's what's so critical and so amazing. And once we can slow it down and not have these fluke accidents happen, guess what? We benefit greatly from that. We benefit greatly from the fact that we're able to do that. And that's where the benefit comes from. If you're in the process right now and you're dealing with it, hey, it's a learning curve. We've all been there before. Learn it, grow from it. Let's not repeat it. That's what's so valuable about it. It happens. Don't keep beating yourself up over it. It's over now. Now let's recover, get back through it, get back in the groove, in the groove, and let's move forward in our life, doing what we need to do in our life and doing what's best for us. And that's where we need to be at. You're successful, you're talented, you're smart, you got a lot of things going, so let's keep going that way. Let's keep moving and shaking in the right direction. If you'd like to start working with me and you'd like me to coach you, go to ashleyburgess.com, ashleyberges.com, click on coaching sessions, set up a coaching session immediately, and I look forward to working with you. Stay tuned. There's a great show coming up for you next week. Don't miss it. Check out the podcast, Live Your True Life Perspectives, with your host, me, Ashley Burgess, will be back in. I'll be back this time. You know it. I'll be back this time in 3 shakes.